In part 1 of our previous episode, we went over some of the benefits of the Sennheiser BTD700 USB Bluetooth dongle in terms of the various audio codecs supported, as well as compatibility with other Bluetooth headphones like the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation, along with an overview of the various speech codecs supported by the Bluetooth standard, and compared the aptX Voice Super Wideband Bluetooth speech codec supported on the HDB 630 against the standard Bluetooth MSBC wideband speech codec, and provided a summary of this initial comparison test. So in this Part 2 episode, we'll be comparing the voice call quality of the new Sennheiser HDB 630 against the Sennheiser HDB 630 when connected to the BTD 700 dongle, against two of the best noise-canceling headphones released in 2025, the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation and the Sony WH-1000XM6, using the top and most common use case of video conferencing, tested with the most widely used and best overall video conferencing application Zoom, and find out which of these headphones, using the latest firmware, offer the best voice call quality in a quiet noise environment, a constant loud noise environment, a dynamic loud noise environment, and a windy loud noise environment using our same test methodology we outlined in episode 24. In addition, as tested in our previous episodes, we'll again be using our unique dynamic loud noise environment test setup as shown here, where we have two distinct female voices in conversation being played back through our left side speaker, while two distinct male voices in conversation is being played back through our right side speaker, and one male voice doing a presentation is being played back through our front speakers. This unique test setup will help properly test how well competing headphones can effectively isolate the user's own voice while blocking out 3 to 5 distinct external multi-directional loud voices and maintaining a loud, clear, and natural voice call quality. Before we get started, the test settings and respective firmware and software versions we'll be using for our voice call quality comparisons are illustrated here for the Sennheiser HDB 630 without and with the BTD 700 dongle, as well as the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation and the Sony WH-1000XM6. So without further ado, let's now dive straight into the voice call quality comparisons.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try and sell it. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try and sell it. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try and sell it. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try and sell it. I don't think it's good that Apple's perceived as different. I think it's important that Apple's perceived as much better. If being different is essential to doing that, then we have to do that. We have to be different in some ways to be much better. I don't think it's good that Apple's perceived as different. I think it's important that Apple's perceived as much better. If being different is essential to doing that, then we have to do that. We have to be different in some ways to be much better. I don't think it's good that Apple's perceived as different. I think it's important that Apple's perceived as much better. If being different is essential to doing that, then we have to do that. We have to be different in some ways to be much better. I don't think it's good that Apple's perceived as different. I think it's important that Apple's perceived as much better. If being different is essential to doing that, then we have to do that. We have to be different in some ways to be much better.
You've got to start with the customer experience. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology.
Someone once told me that time was the predator that stalked us all our lives. I rather believe that time is the companion who goes with us on the journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because it will never come again.
And a vision for Apple. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology.
Someone once told me that time was the predator that stalked us all our lives. I rather believe that time is the companion who goes with us on the journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because it will never come again.
A vision for Apple. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology.
Someone once told me that time was the predator that stalks us all our lives. I rather believe that time is the companion who goes with us on the journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because it will never come again.
And a vision for Apple.
Someone once told me that time was the predator that stalks us all our lives. I rather believe that time is the companion who goes with us on the journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because it will never come again.
What we leave behind is not as important as how we live. After all, only one. Seize the time. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again. What we leave behind is not as important as how we live. After all, only one. Seize the time. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again. What we leave behind is not as important as how we live. After all, we want to seize the time. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again. What we leave behind is not as important as how we live. After all, only one. Seize the time. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again.
So now that you've had a chance to listen to the voice call quality of each of the headphones tested, let's go over our subjective scores and recommendations. As summarized in the table shown, in a quiet environment, while the new Sennheiser HDB 630 sounded reasonably good with or without the BTD 700 dongle, the clear standout for exceptional voice call quality was the Sony WH-1000XM6, which scored the best not only in this comparison, but also the highest score we've ever tested against any wireless noise-canceling headphones or true wireless earbuds in this category. When constant loud background noise is present, while all of the scores dropped across the board, the Sony WH-1000XM6 sounded the most unnatural due to a weird echo sound after each word, but did have the loudest voice pickup volume which balanced out its score, thus scoring equal overall against both the Sennheiser and Bose headphones. When dynamic loud background noise is present using our uniquely realistic, challenging, yet repeatable test setup, the Sennheiser HDB 630 does very poorly with or without the BTD 700 dongle and does not block out any of that dynamic loud chatter noise in the background. The Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones 2nd generation do not do any better and also lets in a lot of background noise. The Sony WH-1000XM6, on the other hand, does a very good job at canceling out the loud background chatter noise, but does so at the expense of clarity, but still scored the highest in this category. And finally, in the windy loud noise environment, the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphone 2nd generation did so poor it was almost unusable, while the Sennheiser HDB 630 did only marginally better. The Sony WH-1000XM6 performed only slightly better than the HDB 630 and thus barely squeezed out a win in this category. But overall, based on our subjective scores in each category, the Sony WH-1000XM6 is still our recommendation for the best noise-canceling headphones for voice call quality of 2025. Its outstanding best ever performance in a quiet environment and relatively good performance in other noise environments helped the Sony WH-1000XM6 secure a solid win. However, if you want the absolute best sound quality in the wireless noise-canceling headphones, but also need a wireless Bluetooth headset with the best voice call quality, then the best combination we would recommend would be the Sennheiser HDB 630 with the BTD 700 dongle combined with the EPOS Impact 1061 ANC headset. So what do you think of our scores and recommendations? Would you score or recommend any differently? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit that like button if you found this video helpful and informative, and click on that subscribe button to be notified of our future comparisons and reviews to help in your everyday life or weekend adventures. So stay tuned for the next Weekend Gear Guide episode.